Surrounded by. I am surrounded by.
I'm often surrounded by.
The entire system is surrounded by
Freaking idiots.
Surrounded by them.
idiots.
Yo, so man, are we rolling on this thing?
We rolling, man. We rolling.
I'm just glad to finally link with you.
Man, same, bro.
Yeah.
Same. It's been, we were trying to figure out when we first met, but I still can't remember.
It's got to be like 5 to 7 years ago.
No, it was
in
a
LA.
minute ago. It was a minute ago.
I know it was an audition room, casting room. But you were friendly, you know, and like you gave it that city vibe, even though you're not a New Yorker. Are
Yeah,
you?
well, Chicago.
All right,
So it's saying, you know,
yeah.
it's a little cleaner, a little smaller.
I feel like when you're from a big city, you know from an early age it's not all about you.
Yeah.
That's for me
Yeah.
what New York City, where I came from, that's what it did for me. I just felt like the show is never always about me, so I'm free to like do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Well, because also too, your world already is vast. Like, you know, when people grow up in small towns, everyone knows everything about what you did, who you knew, who you went to school with. You grew up in New York, you grew up in Chicago. It's not quite, you know, if you're really in the city though.
Yeah.
A lot of people say they're from Chicago. They're not really from Chicago.
Really?
You know, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I grew up in Chicago. You're like, where you from? Naperville.
Right.
That's not Chicago.
Evanston. Or,
Yeah, hey, see, yeah, you've heard them.
yeah. Well, I'm real deal New York City, Manhattan, born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
yeah.
What was that like?
30 plus years. I mean, I feel super lucky. Like growing up in Manhattan is just, it doesn't get any more like diverse.
New York than that.
Yeah, I mean,
really.
I didn't learn to drive until I was 24 on my road trip to LA. Like literally passed my test barely one day before moving here.
That's wild.
I don't know. I love New York, you know, and it's funny because I'm about to go back
Mm-hmm.
for these 3 months. I'm really wondering if it's going to feel, it'll be my first time living there for at least like more than a couple weeks.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm curious, you know, I don't know.
Because, you haven't lived there since the pandemic either, huh?
No, I've been in LA for 10 years. 10 years.
I'm at 13, 14.
How does it feel?
It's home now. It's
Yeah.
home now. I like it. I will say though, LA has changed a lot since like I came in 09. And like since then, it's not the same, like especially Hollywood. And, it's not the same vibe since
Yeah.
the pandemic. It's a lot, you know, we have a lot more, you know, economical issues, I guess, because everything's so damn expensive. You know what I mean? And it's just like,
Also, where you're at here, you know, right in the center.
that's what I mean. Yeah. And luckily I'm not on like right on Hollywood Boulevard, because you can only imagine what that gets like.
Yeah.
What area?
Me and my wife live in El Sereno. It's still hard to say wife, you know. It's like my
That's
special
why.
friend.
You know, the person I'm always with.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
99% of the time.
We just moved to El Sereno, which is like
okay.
south of Pasadena. So
Oh, okay.
east side.
See, it's nice out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 2 months we've been there, so it's
Okay.
very new.
That's dope.
But yeah, New York, and then I was in Atlanta for a few years.
Okay. How'd you like Atlanta? I lived out in Atlanta when I was younger, like 04, 05.
Yeah.
And it was like, once again, Atlanta was very different back then. But
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought that was a class A+ city. Like,
Yeah.
really dug it.
Mhm.
Great food, great people, diverse. Landlocked, that's not as good.
Mhm.
I like the breeze, but yeah, I think I was rooting for more time. It was like right when when I was on the show Legacies, like right when it got canceled, we had just bought something there. And then
Oh.
the show got canceled, and so it was sort of bad timing, but I was really pulling for more time.
Yeah, I feel you.
But no, LA. I think LA and New York. Those are the special cities. But shouts out to all other cities too.
You're very politically
Political, you know,
correct.
I'm running
No,
for
I mean, you know, I
office.
love people from all cities, but
Yeah.
New York's great.
Yeah, where are you from?
Where are you from? No, I feel, well, you got New York, you got LA, and then I feel, well, Chicago is another big one.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the next one is probably like what? Like Miami.
Yeah, I guess. Or
I would say Texas or Miami, but for very
Yeah.
different reasons,
mhm.
you know?
I know we drove through Austin recently, and that was a cool city.
Austin's badass. I went for S.B.I Southwest.
Oh, yeah.
I performed out there in like 2018.
Oh, dope.
And bro, I had a ball.
Yeah.
I haven't been back since. I need to go back, but man, I had a fucking ball.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I feel like anything with a college town is going to be anything that has a college nearby. That's always a good.
Mhm. And it's Austin, right? So it's like it's the diverse Texas.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So it's like it's cool because like it almost feels like you're in in LA or New York in a sense of like how the people are,
Yeah.
but you're surrounded by Texas. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's a good middle ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the thing is, I don't love what that state's
That's what I mean.
But
Yeah.
I'm into a multicultural urban
Epicenter.
center.
Yeah. And that's what it is. And that's why I
Yeah.
like it.
I also saw Leon Bridges live on that trip across there, and
Oh.
that was like one of the best performances I've ever seen.
He's so good, man.
Dude, and then fast forward to now, I just saw him at the Hollywood Bowl, and we thought it was like his show. He did like 2 songs. It was like a whole array of other cool music, but
Yeah.
that was a bummer. I was really rooting for more.
You just wanted more Leon Bridges.
Yeah, yeah. So
who are your, because, you have the Grasshopper Project.
Hey,
who
thanks,
are
man.
of course, man.
for knowing that.
Yeah. Who are your influences?
Okay, well, first off, the best thing that's ever happened to me in LA is I ran into Redman at LA Fitness,
Oh, shit.
and I talked to him for 5 full minutes. So if Reggie Noble, you somehow see this, get in touch.
You said Reggie
Please.
Noble.
I called you by that's
That-
your real name, dude. In case you forgot,
That's
the little
funny.
people. But I'd like to chop it up with you more. It was great. We talked for 5 real minutes about
Yeah.
social media being hard, and he was on leg day, and no one was coming up to him, and I was just like, "This is incredible!" Like, so anyway, Redman would be a top 5 rapper for me, just in terms of the fun and the style and the funkiness.
Fact. So I've never met Red, but Method Man was on The Wire.
Jeez.
So he's actually technically my father in the show. Like, it's one of those like Easter eggs in the show.
I'd forgotten that. I
Yeah,
never knew
because
it.
his name is Cheese Wagstaff,
Oh my
and I'm
God,
Randy Wagstaff. Yeah. So
you're meth, son.
exactly.
That's
But so I like big fan of both of those guys, but I've never met Redman.
Well, he's as approachable as you'd imagine. I was
That's
literally
dope.
watching him like in the gym, like after I talked to him, and he was like, "Man, come back over here," and like it was just glorious. So, yeah. Wait, I gotta just quickly interrupt and say, like, you're on like the greatest show, not even arguably of all time, and
Thank you,
arguably the best season
Thank you,
of
brother.
television. So
I
don't know.
appreciate that, man.
Dude. I just remember, obviously being obsessed with The Wire, like everybody, and
When did you finally watch it?
later in life, I was an adult. So it was
Yeah.
like, maybe like, I want to say like 7 years ago. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been a
Yeah.
while. I'm
No,
ready for a
I'm
rewatch.
just asking because it's one of those shows like you got to be grown to really get it, unless like that's like I know a lot of people in Baltimore, like younger people have watched it, but it was because like it's their reality, so they just got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like most people get it or really understand it later. Like I watched my season when I was on and stuff,
Yeah.
but I didn't get the full context of everything. You grow up, you see some shit, and then you start to go, oh.
Well, also the different plot lines like that's a
Mhm.
complicated, expansive world. I mean,
Yeah.
because at the same time, I mean, I would argue Sopranos for me is right neck and neck with The Wire.
Brother,
and I'm a little,
Same here, though.
I got a
Same
sick
here, though.
obsession with Sopranos, like to the point where it was affecting my work on other shows as an actor.
Do
Like,
you know
I
how
was,
many times I've watched The Sopranos, bro?
No, I'd love to
Oh,
know.
I do a rewatch damn near every year
Oh my God.
because it's like it's my how people always tell me like it's my Wire because I'm less biased, right? About
little close
everything.
to The Wire.
Yeah, I'm close to it, but I won't lie. The Wire is after I watched all the seasons during the pandemic. I went back and I watched all of them, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, I get it. Like all the years of people going like, no, you don't get it. Like this show is. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, but then I watched it. I was like, oh shit. And then I just saw like, man, I was just a nice puzzle piece in this world that's already just. Yeah.
I mean, it's unreal. Like I have so many images from that show tattooed in my brain. Like I can't forget those moments. Like, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's you can't.
I appreciate.
It's hard enough to get a job, but then to get one on a show that the world acknowledges is tier 1. Incredible.
Yeah, but bro, it all comes from you just keep swinging though, and you know this. Like
Yeah.
it's you, and when you're right, you're right. Like when sometimes it's the work, but sometimes you know how it goes. Like you walk in and it's just like, no, you're the guy. Holy shit, did he just come in and he's good.
Yeah.
Let's go,
Yeah.
but you have to. The unfortunate part is you have to wait for that to be written, and especially minority actors. Like
Yeah.
that shit's not written all that often unless
No.
we're creating it for ourselves.
No, I mean, for me, I've been auditioning as an ethnically ambiguous person for 20 years. And now finally I have to like say, oh, I can't play a Japanese guy because I'm half Chinese or something.
Right.
So now it's finally getting more, accurate with representation.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, I mean, this is why right now in this day and age, as we were just saying, you got to write your stuff. You got to be your own creator, be the one-stop shop. But yeah, in terms of acting, I feel like the more you don't fight it, the easier it all gets. I forget my wins and my losses. I just keep moving forward.
Throw the sides away when you're done.
Oh.
Hey, hit me up if you need me.
Yeah.
That's my thought process.
What I hate is when you crush the sides up and then you do get that call back like 2 weeks later.
and
And then you
you're
got to
like,
print
damn, I
more.
gotta reprint
I mean,
these
like,
out. But you know what? But these are happy problems. Because think how many times you never have to.
how many
print
times
them.
you saved it, you laminated it, you kept it right there, and
Well, no, they put a pin in me, so I'm
yeah.
yeah.
I know, isn't that? And that's something about human nature. Like the closer you get, obviously, the more you want it, even if you didn't really want it. I'm trying to take all that out of the equation right at this point. I'm just happy to get to pursue it, and I don't know. I just don't really. My ego's not tied up in it. And I don't think it ever was. And that's kind of what made this grind for me possible. Like in New York, I went to auditions, but it was never like the only thing I was doing. My parents were never like pushing it on us. It was very, very cash.
So wait, so I was going to ask you about this. So your parents, what professions are they in?
Yeah. So my dad started in real estate in New York, and
Okay.
then he was a teacher in the South Bronx for like 20 years.
Wow.
So he was one of like the original teachers fellowship teachers. He was basically there to help a struggling school, and so he just worked with kids for 20 years.
dope.
Yeah, and he's like he's a lyricist himself.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, we've written a lot of songs together.
Oh, that's fine. Okay,
Yeah,
so this is where this is what I wanted to know. Like, does it come from the?
I would say creatively it does. Shout out to my dad, David. No, he's a great, follow him on Instagram. The David Levin.
Follow him.
No, I don't. Why am I doing that? That's petty. Yeah, so he was a teacher, and my mom publishes a theater tech magazine, so a very small trades magazine that's for like theater tech, lighting and sound
so
America.
you were already in a sense, like your parents were very aware of this world. So
Yeah, it was artistic.
It was okay.
I saw a lot of plays growing up. I mean, we didn't really, we didn't do fancy things, but we did see a lot of theater. That was sort of like a lot of cheap tickets. And yeah, so through them, I was able to get involved with a youth theater company called Tada Youth Theater. And that's where all like my original beginning, at ages, 9, 10, 11, that's where like I kind of got brave on stage and tried to do this.
That's fire. My parents did the same.
Really?
Every Saturday and Sunday, me and my dad would go to see a play or some kind of live performances. Like because they named me Maestro. Like they wanted me to be in entertainment. But it was one of those things like, and I took to it instantly because they wanted me to just be well-rounded. I was in this theater production called the ETA Theater, and it was in the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
And it was literally same kind of idea, a program for inner city kids who wanted to do. And that was how I like got in. And I actually had to get a scholarship. I was like the youngest person they let in because my dad is like ruthless when he was like, no, we putting him in.
You gotta love that conviction. You need
bro.
that.
If so many things happen because that man had that conviction, it's just like, hey, I'm going to get you through this door. But when I got through that door, I knew how to do the thing, man.
It's lucky. I mean, really, I just feel always lucky that I got to be around artistic spaces and around diversity.
Yeah,
I'll never ever live that down. I mean, if I had grown up somewhere else, who knows where I'd be now?
No, 100%.
Yeah, so definitely. New York City forever will be the speed I try to keep inside of me in this very like languid, chill place that we're in here.
You
where
notice
where
that
the sun
too.
laughs at you and says like, "Have a good day, motherfucker." Like, I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
But see, you notice that anyone who comes from the East Coast, they come out here and they're just like, yeah, this is nice, but like people out here like to just chill sometimes. And it's like, no, let's keep this hustle going. Because it's easy to just go to the beach. And be like, you know what? Hey, could have hit you today. Hey, Ben, let's not, let's do it next week. Cause I'm just going to chill today. Like, And in New York and in Chicago, I feel like those kind of places, the weather alone, just sometimes you're like, well, shit, it's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. I still gotta do shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be cold. I still gotta go outside.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, sometimes I can't tell if it's because I was younger and had more energy in New York, and that's why I kept that pace up. But I do feel like out here it's so much easier to just cancel plans. It's easier to just take that off your calendar and keep wearing sandals all day. And I don't know. I still wear shoes. You got to put on pants. Although I regret these jeans right now, they're hot. But you got to wear at least shorts.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a shorts guy.
No,
though.
you know what? Actually, a lot of successful people I know, they don't wear shorts. And I think it's because the calves, you got to pay for that if you want these. If you want to see these.
That's, touche.
No, I'm just kidding.
No. It makes sense. You got to do the work, though.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And most, they're not doing that work. They're doing other work. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So wait, so you came from after you did the theater company growing up, what was the next step? How did you start to get into television, or what was did you ever do like print work and all that kind of stuff? Because that's usually the, hustle.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to remember. Basically, I got a children's manager from my middle school showcase, like in my public middle school called Manhattan East. Actually, my acting teacher there, her name was Anne Rattray, who recently passed away. Her son was Devin Rattray, who was the big brother in Home Alone. So there's that. Oh, remember Home Alone, Buzz?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so his mom was my teacher in public school. Anyway, so she had we did a Vietnam showcase as 12-year-olds or something. And so I got this children's manager, and from there, I think my first credit was The Emperor's Club. It was like a movie with Kevin Kline from way back in the day.
Yeah.
I played Stephen Wong, which was my line, Stephen Wong.
I love it.
And if anyone sees that, I did a triple take in that, which is, they didn't tell me to do that, but you can see me kind of, that took a lot of intuition. You don't just, you're not trained for that.
No, you're born with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. So from then I knew I was a shining star. I just knew there's no way of going back. And
Stop talking to the little people.
Yeah.
Like all your peers.
Yeah. I immediately just shunned everyone around me. No, I think it was just like a slow burn into it. I eventually just kept auditioning, and I went to LaGuardia High School, which was the performing arts public school, which is also a huge blessing because it was, a free public school that was very centered around acting. It's like studio training.
Yeah.
So the combination of all that, and then at the same time, I was lightly auditioning, but again, with no pressure. My mom used to write down little notes for me about where to walk to my audition. It'd be like, make a left on 7th or a right on 40th.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really sweet, So it never really felt like a job until college, and then definitely LA, when I suddenly realized, oh, I am Asian. Oh, I do have to fit a certain mold here. Oh, there's other games to play to make this work.
Right.
But yeah, I would say the big job I got at that point was a lengthy stint on a soap opera. That was probably the one that really solidified it as a continuing job. Because, you might, even these days, you might work a few days on a set and then nothing for a while.
Or ever.
Or forever, ever again. Just you're turned out to the streets. So that was like a recurring, it was like 6 months. I think I did 50 episodes of it.
Okay, nice.
Playing a Latino character, vaguely Latino.
Wow.
Shout out to As the World Turns.
That's wild. But see, people don't realize that there's so many prior to 5 years ago. There's so many shows that just did this. Even in the voiceover world, how many white dudes were just doing black voices?
I know.
And it was that's just what it was. And it's great that we're having that change, but you also have to look at it man, there's another minority working in a space that there wouldn't be one. It's a double-edged sword.
And I know as creative people, we want to be able to stretch ourselves and play stuff. So I'm torn as a creative person, but I completely get it as in terms of authentic representation.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, that one was it was just super racist from the get-go. I was playing Gabriel Caras when I'd roll my R's.
Oh, man.
I was from a made-up country called Montega.
So wait,
No, I'm serious. They made up a country.
Montega.
I was a handyman. they had me like rewiring the office with a like a screwdriver. So I'm also just doing subpar handyman
Was it
work.
the like sexy Latin type?
Yeah, I'd say so. I was seeking revenge on my father. I was courting liberty.
This is hilarious.
I think I chartered a jet plane at one point. They had a jet plane set, so they let me, Gabriel like took the jet plane.
But he's a handyman.
He's a handy. Well, I was like I was like an evil guy, and I did. What else was funny about that? I was in a coma for 6 episodes, and
easiest money you ever made. Bro.
Everybody was like, "How did you get this storyline? Like, lucky." I was like, "I don't know, man. I just
lay here."
Yeah, it was great. Not a good angle for me, but whatever,
bro.
Let them see it.
Every time I had to do like a sleeping scene or a sick scene or anything like that, those are the best because you're just like I'm chilling.
It's a challenge too. You gotta let yourself really be like tired on camera.
Oh yeah, but see, I can always turn on tired.
Oh.
That's I'm a sleepy motherfucker.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd argue one does good work when they're tired.
Yeah,
like I don't know. For me, if like I'm always torn between do I get over caffeinated for something or do I stay zenned out? I've ruined many auditions by being over caffeinated.
Bro. I don't drink coffee like that, and I've started now later in life, but when I was in my 20s, I just didn't drink coffee.
Yeah, and
so you're like, I'll grab a coffee on the way. I got time to kill type shit. Man, you go in a little bit of mix of nerves mixed with. You fucking shaking your hands. I'm like, no.
I know when the hands are shaking. There's nothing worse. You're holding your sides and you're like, hey Sheila, like haven't seen you since last year. I'm cool guy. No, I know.
And they're just looking at you like, please hurry up and get done.
Yeah. No. It's that's a pro move.
Yeah.
Don't get over caffeinated.
Don't get over caffeinated. No, and also don't because also that caffeine will make you play things way higher too. Now maybe if you're going in for like a multicam, get caffeinated. Yeah.
Maybe a drugged out character.
Get caffeinated. If you're going in for a Coen Brothers movie, you might want to be a little tired.
Oh man,
yeah.
For a Coen Brothers movie, I'm coming in 8 hours of sleep. I hope I meditated if I even know how to do that. I hope
you're gonna try day of like fuck it, let's go.
Oh yeah, dude, that would be the dream. Just to audition for a Coen Brothers film would be like my dream.
Bro, who are you telling? This is my favorite director.
Really?
My favorite movie is No Country for Old Men. Like
I saw that 3 times in the movie theaters. 3 times. That's like 9 hours of that movie.
Yes, but it is I love everything about it. The pacing, the shots, the acting is top tier. The storyline, like it's all.
Oh my God, man! You're speaking my language.
Yeah.
No, I love that film. For me, it might be Miller's Crossing. Do you ever see that one of theirs?
Yes, I have
early
seen
film.
I haven't seen it in years though.
Give it a rewatch.
The one, yeah. Wait, what's the story? I know I've seen it though.
That's Gabriel Byrne, and he's. It's actually like a really like all their films. It's very convoluted, and I don't even know if I can articulate it. But it's like, damn, I love that movie, and yet I don't even know what's the log line for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which.
Well,
because I always get that one in. What's the other one they did?
Blood Simple or
not Blood Simple. Yeah, I think I get that and Blood Simple. Miller Crossings and Blood Simple.
Those are around the same time.
Yeah, that's what
Miller's
it is.
Crossing is one that's kind of like a noir parody. So it's got a bit of this like old school talking like this sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
There's just so many great like I always tell my boys like put one in the head. And he's like talking about how he kill, how you clean up your mess. Yeah, no, the Coen Brothers. I don't think I've seen one Asian in a Coen Brothers film. Has anyone seen an Asian in a Coen Brothers?
Have you seen too many black people in them either? Yeah.
True, but I got to look out for the Asians first, but you're right.
No, it's funny because I won't lie. I always, whenever I watch their movies, same with Wes Anderson, I always think, there's no black people in this. And I don't think but man, you're damn right. There will be no blacks, no Asians, there's Hispanics.
That's true.
That's the only.
We're not going to hold that against the Latino community. That's not their fault.
Hey, listen. At least they got the call.
Yeah. That's true.
I would love to, man, like to be in a Wes Anderson movie or like a Coen Brothers film, like because things just aren't shot that way, and it's almost like being a part of a painting that can't be recreated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's not.
I know. I kind of dream of being in like a cinematic universe like that, as opposed to, the sort of shaky cam thing, which is obviously a different choice. But I don't know. I love the idea of someone crafting a slow moving camera movement around me or my character.
Yeah.
Like that would be a dream. I don't know. I feel like in TV, you don't really, you feel that kind of rinse and repeat thing and the same 2-shot and, wow, man. What's another Coen brother that's like, what's in the top 3 Coens? In no particular order.
Well, Raising Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, man. Nick Cage.
Yeah,
Come on.
at his best of that.
And Fargo. Oh, so yeah, those are my top 3. And then I'm trying to think what's another one that I liked A Serious Man. It was a little, yeah, exactly how you're breathing. That's how it was a little slow on parts in it, but it was
It's just very unpleasant. But they're all, yeah.
But I did like that as well. But yeah,
No, those are a strong
those
3.
3.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi, like, come on, and man,
I'm glad you didn't say Big Lebowski. You know, that one's rated, but I wouldn't say it's overrated, but it's been said a lot.
Thank you.
That one to me is just like an abstract poem. I still dig it always, but I'm not sure. Well, all their films, they don't always add up. And that's what I like. It's like the plot doesn't really matter. It's sort of just about the hunt of money or jealousy, greed. But then it's just this, it's like a tonal piece.
Yes. And I love any project where, because I think I subconsciously connect with any character who's like, this is my goal. This is what I'm doing. Like Anton Chigurh, terrible guy, but this is my goal. This is what I'm doing. And I will go through any cost for the principle of getting this done. Now, his principles for what he's doing, fucked up.
Yeah, a little shaky.
Yeah, but if you take that to like, something positive, like your career or something like that, I always identify with characters like that. Same with There Will Be Blood.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Another one of my favorite. Once again, dark character because I like dark movies.
Yeah.
But just the fact that at any cost, he was going to figure this out.
Yes.
And he does.
You got to go Anton Chigurh on your goals.
Yes.
You
must.
Ideally, not mass murder, but.
Ideally.
But hey, do you. Do you. Oh, yeah, my God. Those are such good characters.
Incredible characters.
I know. Well, I guess that's where I like, as an actor, I wish I want to play somebody who has that level of intention. I feel like in some of the TV world, it gets kind of muddy, because they're piecing your character together. You might not know your arc. But God, that's not true for The Wire. I mean, Randy, he was he had a real arc. Yeah, no, he did have a real arc. And the cool thing about that was they didn't give us the scripts ahead of time. So every week, so if you were going to get capped, like you knew that week. What would people react? People upset when they would find out? Oh yeah, and people would be upset, or they would. But I even heard like there was a thing. I don't know 100% how true this was, but I definitely have heard this. There was a thing even how they were gonna kill Stringer Idris. Yeah, and it was like supposed to be something very different. And it was like, no. Like that was one of the few times like they just rescinded how it was done. You know what I mean? But like he still got capped. God, I'm so curious what the original idea was, because that was one of the best TV deaths ever. Oh, by far. But I think it was going to be way more disrespectful. Omar, because Omar wasn't fucking, so it was going to be way more disrespectful, and they were just like, no. But other than that, everyone is just it's all in the game, like they say on the show. It's what it is. Like I know even with Randy, like I was on the brink. I didn't know if he was going to get killed or if he was just gonna, Did you know you were going to get beaten up at the end like that? No. I didn't know until that script. Yeah. Every time I got a script, it was like, oh, shit. So now Miss Anna's gone. Okay, this isn't going well. Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay, now I'm back. Damn, I'm probably going to end up back in the foster home, huh? Damn, I ended up in the foster home. But I'm not dead. Yeah. Came back season 5, for an episode. Like, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, I'm not dead, at least, but. It's always nice to not be killed. But if you are going to be killed, go out in a spectacular fashion. And that's true, too. I die, bro. I die in everything. Me too. Wait, I'm sure this is some ethnic thing too. I'm sure. For sure. They're like, when in doubt, that guy. Yeah. I mean, or like what I hate too is like sometimes you'll see
with the ethnic characters. They always you're in the group, but we keep you just enough outside where we can make you either recurring or we don't need to see you every day. We know that you're not going to be with the main Levin.
Yes.
But we can put you over here. And then, if we like you, it can turn into something more. It's a very funny.
Yeah, it's a contract thing. I know it's really true. Like I feel like in the past too, I've always hovered around the main core, and it was like that way a bit on the CW show. Like it'd always be like, we're going on a mission. Like, Jed, you can't come. And I'm like, well, I'm paid per episode. I guess I'll just go. But yeah, it's funny. Like, let a person with darker melatonin, be in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're doing, like I said, once again, they're doing better now just because I know also, capitalism has shown them that, when you include everybody, everyone spends more money.
Well, hit them where it hurts. Yeah. Follow the money.
Follow the money. But, that's also, speaking of following the money, this is why we're in this situation now with the strike.
Yeah. I know. I was going to try to loop it into that right now, but I don't think we're not quite fighting for representation in this particular contract, right? I mean, this is not what this negotiation's about.
No, it's about not getting replaced by robots.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
I see both sides.
Yeah, I think you have to. As somebody who's, like we're sitting here around cutting edge technology.
Come on, literally. I
mean, some of this is, I'm not going to say artificial technology, but this is new age spacey stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can't stop AI, but you can certainly and must regulate it. The residual conversation is the one that I'm like,
oh yeah,
obviously.
Because if we got paid proper residuals, this would change a lot, especially for people. Like I have friends who are on star shows and on cable shows, and it's baffling how much work they'll do for what they're actually getting paid on the back end.
Yeah,
because they say they overpay them, which they do pay more than they used to up front.
Right.
But just you've been out here for a minute. You know how money works. It's like sometimes I'd rather have money coming in on the back end than just, here's all up front. That's it.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, that's been out of my above my pay grade to even know what's happening in terms of how they're chopping up the money.
And that's the other problem though. Every actor, including myself, feels that way.
Yeah. And I'd be thrilled if I get $50. I'm like, oh wow, hey, that came out of nowhere. Little do I know, I deserved 150.
And little do you know, you might deserve a fucking 1,000. Wow. It's just one of those things. How can you sit here and tell us that you don't know how streams are divvied up? How can you sit here and tell you are
right?
This
is my business.
You are a fucking publicly traded company. No, I'm talking about not. You're a publicly traded company, but you don't share that information. So therefore, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know how residuals are split up. I know, no actor I've ever talked to is like, oh, so really what it is an equation. No one's broken it down for me, and I've been doing this shit for over 25 years.
Yeah, that's so true.
No one knows, but that just shows you more so of are we all being hoodwinked? That's not far-fetched to think either.
No.
And we're just appreciative for what we're given. Now we're starting to see, like I said, with streaming, it's, at least back in the day, it was like, okay, it's on TV. We know that there's advertisers. We know.
Yeah.
You don't know really, how, like I said, how Netflix is breaking it down. You don't know how Disney Plus is breaking it down.
No.
You don't.
I know. It's a sad trade-off. It's like you might get, when the show goes to Netflix, of course, you garner more attention from it, but then you don't get the numbers. And it's sad because then you might have people out there attending the award show for their critically acclaimed show, and they got to buy the tux for themselves, and they can barely afford that. And so we're getting the optics of success without it being backed by the money.
And you know who would love that?
Oh,
the motherfucker who has the money. And that's my point. This is all of this, everything from the phone game to being, listen, this is why this contract's not just figured out.
Yeah.
Because once again, we have social media stars. We have we can still push our projects through other ways of branding. And it's not where it was okay, you had your traditional actors. This is all the entertainment you got. Now they have other mediums.
Yeah.
And they're trying to use those to their advantage because just like anything else, it's like outsourcing, making iPhones to China. It's like, how can we cut corners and save money? Okay, let's clone your voice. Let's give you $30,000 to come in and do some voiceover work and then just have your voice in perpetuity. Wouldn't you rather get hired next year and the year after that and the year after that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I feel like it's... in the past, I'd come from a place of I'll do and take anything. You know, I'll take a character that will denigrate my own race, or I'll do the stupidest, most humiliating thing for the money for the show. And it's starting to come into focus that that's the classic actor who wants to work and
and you have a dream. We have dreams. We have goals, and we know that. Maybe you do one thing you don't want to do, but it opens the door to something you really want to do. Yeah. And that's in any industry. But it's a tough call in this day and age because if you'll never be able to replace people, but that circle of who's getting hired is going to get very small.
Yeah.
And, and everybody else I feel like is going to be trying to just fit in.
Yeah. I'm definitely, I'm a little cynical, I'm not sure we're going to get everything we want. Of course, I've been out there picketing a bit and I think it feels good to be in solidarity and it's cool to see people that out there. And I hope that the image is doing something. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of powers that be that are obviously going to do everything they can to stop this.
Stop it.
Yeah, but I do think it's a combination of fighting the man, but also rolling with the punches and kind of, I'm trying to do a little better on social media. I mean, it's, I've got some close friends who have just made so many great strides on TikTok and Twitch, and they're in my ears and they're saying like, you've got to be consistent, put out content,
Right.
I mean, I think this counts as content, right?
Oh, no, hell yeah.
There's a world where this is content.
Well, not only that, think of it this way. Like, bro, like we talk about AI taking our jobs, right? But like you said, well, I would have needed, 2 cameramen or at least a camera. No,
when I saw these clips, I thought you might have had like a full on, like, I don't even know. Like the lighting in here is great.
Yeah, bro. Whole different era.
The sun and some iPhones. I mean,
bro, and that's what I realized, and that's what even made me start this because you know how when you want to do things right, that's like, oh man, I want to go get some Black Magic cameras, but then I'm like, I can't sit here and tell myself this is why I'm not starting.
No,
you know what I mean? You fucking start, you do it, trial and error. I'm always stressed. By the way, is this one you see the record buttons recording, right?
Yeah, you're recording.
Okay, no, just making sure. See, this is the kind of shit I got to think about, though.
I think, 40, 47.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. But this is the kind of shit I have to think about even while I'm interviewing because I'm setting up each camera, each thing, making sure the audio's still running. But it's made me better at not only respecting when I go on sets and shit, other people's jobs. Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Like, cause as an actor, when you're on a show, it's beautiful. They say cut, the night's over. Oh, you can go in your trailer, throw your shit off, get in your car, go home.
Yeah, you don't even hang your stuff up if you want to be that kind of guy.
If you want to be that guy,
I hang my stuff up.
My man.
Don't ever.
I hang my shit up. But
buttons and everything.
You can be that guy though. Yeah. And there's people who are that guy. And it's just hilarious though, because you don't think, especially me starting so young, you don't think about, oh man, no, like all this shit has to get packed up. Yeah. All these people, they're on the clock for another. So, we pushed. Oh, you're so tired. You got home an hour late. These motherfuckers are going to be home 3 hours later because they have to. So doing all these other jobs has shown me, wow, what it takes to run any kind of infrastructure. Yeah. And once again, even when you talk about like the studios and whatnot, that's also why I look at it and I'm like, damn, like just think of the shit that they pay to create. Like, and for most of these companies, film and television and music and all that shit is just like a small section of what the fuck they sell.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
I know. I feel like we've been forced to fully understand what goes into making a product. And that is a silver lining to this moment and to just the trend since I'd say the emergence of technology like this. You can with 2 iPhones and 2 filters. I mean, Oscar nominated director Sean Baker, who made Tangerine.
Oh yeah.
Got nominated for a film that was shot on iPhones. I mean, you can make quality stuff. We have it at our fingertips. So there's a lot of encouragement and positivity out there, if you can see that side. But I know it's so true with the set life. Like I completely feel for the people who have gotten divorced because they've been on sets for 13 hours a day and for, it's just such a commitment. I mean, And and that's the other thing too. It's not glamorous. Even though it's easier as an actor, you're still sacrificing so much of your like energy on that. And
your time.
And you're relocating yourself,
Yeah.
and that's hard for family. And it's I'm trying to wear many hats. I'd like to learn how to wear more hats, and not think of it as mysterious how these things get made. Love camera operator B is what I'm saying. High five that grip. Go get a drink with Dolly grip number 2.
Man, listen, go hit the best boy and be like, yo, man, let's go smoke a J.
Yeah, We'll see who's best now, boy.
Who's best?
Totally.
So you're a comedian too.
I'm not a comedian. No, man. I will say though, if you're out there getting on stage and speaking jokes and doing I have the utmost respect. I think that's like in a dream world, or in a maybe soon I'm gonna hop on stage in a 1-person show. That would be a nice end goal.
I've had that same idea. I've wanted to try stand up, but I feel like stand up would be a segue into like when it's all said and done, before I'm done bucket list thing. Like you said, it would be cool to do a 1-man show. Yeah. I just have no idea what I'd want it to be about yet, or if it were my life, I just want to wait till other people give a shit to come see it. But you've lived a life so far. I mean, you got a lot going on. I mean, it would be cool. John Leguizamo,
of course, Sexaholics. And oh yeah,
man, that was fire.
Sidebar: I ran into him in an elevator. This is like my Red Man story. Same thing. Ran into an elevator. And if we had a couple more floors in that elevator, I bet I could have, in a totally consensual way, gone to his room and hung out. That would have been so cool. Like we were, right away, I could tell we would have vibed, but we only had like 4 floors to talk.
And then bing.
Yeah. And
I'll see you later, man.
I needed 2 more floors. And we would have been besties. Yeah, but he's great. No, his 1-person show is great.
No, I believe it. He comes through in his art. Like he very much, you can tell a lot of times like what you see is him, because he's when he's playing a good guy, because he is. Sure. You can tell he's funny. You can tell he's like sincere. Yeah, he can.
I mean, so I feel you can never take away his Mercutio performance in Romeo and Juliet. I believe, wasn't he Mercutio, or was he the other guy? Oh, you don't like that movie?
I know. You never saw it? It was so long ago. Yeah. Is that the one with Leo?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that was a minute ago.
Yeah. That's not Coen Brothers level.
I remember him in Shaft.
Oh wow, sure.
I loved him in Shaft. I also loved him in obviously Ice Age.
Oh yeah,
that's incredible. There's another movie I saw him in recently.
The Menu. Do you see that one?
I haven't seen The Menu.
He's good in that.
Oh, he is. Damn. What's the one though? I'm trying to think. I see his face and I can't put. What's another one of his really big, really famous movies?
I can't claim to be the biggest. I'm not sure if I know his whole career.
But I know that 1-man show.
Yeah, I just remember that was like explosive.
Yes.
I love when somebody's just, when you're able to actually use your full self in your art. To me, you've made it. You've done it. You've done something really incredible. And I don't know. I think personally, artistically, I've only experienced that maybe when I did this other play 5 years ago. That was a time where I got to bear a lot of myself. I got to really do something. Right. But on sets, maybe a few moments, a few scenes, I felt like I was able to infuse and give it everything. But often, you're at the mercy of certain kinds of scenarios and lines that. So I don't know.
In a certain tone.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say like one of the best things I learned on recent sets is just keep my volume down. Just keep quiet. Talk to somebody like, that's like a hard thing to do, because sometimes I get exuberant and I want to talk loudly, but trust the technology.
Right. And that's a theater thing too.
Yeah.
People who come from theater, because I told you I did a little theater also. I did The Lion King.
Oh yeah.
So at the Cadillac Palace in Chicago.
No way.
Yeah, and then I also did A Raisin in the Sun at the Goodman.
Oh my God.
So like, I've done like I stopped. I haven't done any theater since I was probably like 12, 13. But I did that stuff when I was younger, and it's funny because you do realize it's like keeping your level up is such a staple of theater.
Yeah.
And then you get on certain sets, and it's like, whoa, we don't need all that.
Yeah.
Bring it,
Yeah, it's like I mean, lately what I've been trying to do is look at everything as storytelling, and it's like, what lens are we putting this through? So like with songwriting, I'm really trying to tell that 2 to 3 minute story. And if I can give it even that point A to point C arc. That's great. The dream would be to go even further than that with the writing, and and same with theater. Like I'm hoping when I do this play coming up, I don't want to sacrifice some of the learning I've just done to translate it to that. I want to make sure it's still some of the tools that I just found, and and certain moments might be bigger, but some moments might be just as small as I do it on the close up.
Right. I see what you mean.
I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, I'm like, when you're working on camera, do you treat, for example, the wide, the medium, or the close up differently in terms of your performance? That's something I'm just always curious about with actors.
Okay, so I'd like to get to a point where I can, in a sense of where I know it's like, no, we have to get his shot. So you have more time to play with that. I'd like to get there. So now I don't, only for the simple fact of, hey, you guys might, I want to make sure that you guys don't think I take too much time. You know what I mean? Because I'm probably not on this show consistently already.
Yeah.
B, I don't want to run the risk of, I want you to get a consistent shot of what I'm doing, just because, like I said, you might only give me 2-3 takes.
Right.
And if all three are very different, and I already know you liked what I gave you in the wide, and now we're going closer.
Yeah.
My first 2, if you give me of the close up, I'm keeping the same. Now, maybe if you give me another one and it's just like, go for it. Oh, let me try some shit I didn't do on the wide, but I want to make sure my initial reaction or gut reaction is what they get the most of. And if they don't like that, we switch it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, that's so true. I feel like I'm the same way. I always think I'm taking a bigger risk than I am. And in the end, once I kind of solidify what it's flowing like, it's just locked in that way. And
exactly.
I know that's what's a shame about TV. I wish, sometimes you don't know if you're getting 1 or 2 takes, and they might move on after that one. And so you didn't take the risk you wanted because you had to be a little safe to make sure you hit the tone. Yeah. I mean, God, with the soap opera, that was, even if you flubbed a bunch of lines in the middle, if you don't curse or fall down, like, they'll just buy it. They'll literally say that's a buy and they'll move on. There were times where, and I'd be relieved because I'm like, oh, great, I can crush up that 2-page side that's in one of my pockets. Now I got to go to the other side. But then, of course, later in life, I'm like, I could have taken more of a risk there then. I should have maybe forced their hand and just taken one extra take and maybe drop that F-bomb and let's go back, I'm a scared for my job kind of guy. I pride myself on being nice and easy, but it's okay to be a little bit of a disruptor every now and then.
But I also think you got to do it on the right thing too. Because sometimes I feel certain shit is like, this is what it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Soap operas. This is, buddy, we've been doing it this way for the last, before you were fucking born. Yeah. So
make your little evil face on the camera
and let's go. Yeah. This is what we're selling. We ain't got time for this bullshit. You know who else shoots like that? Tyler Perry.
I believe it. I've never seen his Atlanta airport compound, but I know he's.
Oh, so I haven't seen the new one, but I worked on the Atlanta airport one. That used to be the Delta airplane hangars and all that. Yeah. Before he had the White House and all that kind of crazy shit. He shot House of Pain on one side of the wall, shot fucking Meet the Browns on the other side. Bro, you show up at 7 a.m. They pick you up from the hotel. 7 a.m. You're on set. You get the script. Yeah. Cause it's all written night before, basically. You run through the lines. Okay, go to lunch, get ready, hair and makeup, come out, shoot it, brother. You're back in that van by 6 o'clock on your way home.
On one hand, that's good for the crew's family. That's great for everyone involved. I mean,
it is like a 9 to 5 type day, but you're out at that time and you're keeping it pushing. But now think of the genius. He's doing that with 2 shows in one location. But that's also why at the rate he wants, because he also shoots movies in 20 days. So if you want to keep this pace up, there ain't no time to go back and get your coverage a 5th time, motherfucker. No, let's go. We're done. We are done here. We'll fix it in post.
Oh man, I don't know.
That's tough. That's the tough part on the creative side, because you're like, wait, no, I kind of wanted to. Can I give you a...
Yeah, and even on the audience side, I don't mind seeing somebody who's toiled with something for a period of time. I want to see a little bit of this process. And I like when filmmakers have like a rehearsal process, then they really get into the world and then they might film it. But
I love that too, because I don't know if, everybody would know this if they've never done it, but that shit it is much better when you first work out the lines. Just literally like anything else. You're stretching.
Yeah.
You work out the lines. We go through it 2-3 times. We got the words now. Now we're messing around, blah, blah. Oh, it'd be cool maybe if I did something like that. Then you got time to get into the headspace. Then shoot it.
Yeah.
You will always get a much better performance. I mean, think of everything. I'm sure you've like shot some low budget projects and stuff like that as well. Like sometimes you'll see shit and you're like, man, this could have been really good. This could have been really fucking good.
We had just gone to that third choice. You have to like work through some choices, and that's hard to do when you're not given the time
and the budget. It's like we must move on, and it's like damn or you sometimes you'll even see things. It's like, man, if we had time to reshoot this and get this and da da da, this would be a good movie, but no budget.
You know what? But it's also the same with music. Like nothing's ever finished. And
That's
even
true.
when you release something, the lesson I would tell myself 5 years ago would be put stuff out now, stop toiling with it. So it probably is the same with the visual medium. Like just even some of these shows could have been shot better, but in the sands of time, as we move on these streaming sites and as things get pulled forever and you can't even find them anymore, like
they got shit out.
Yeah. It's all about impressions, I guess. It's kind of a weird, on one hand, on a good day, it's a beautiful free world. On a bad day, it's kind of like compromised and a little bit dark to me.
No, well, I think because it becomes compromised, whereas I'm not mad at somebody who just isn't all that great yet, but they're trying to get better, but they're putting shit out. I'm not mad at that person, because one thing I will say is with everything I've ever had happen in my career, every action has a reaction, in a sense of like, if you're just how you said, putting on more hats, if you're doing things and you're putting things out there, more things will find you. I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works, but more things will find you. The only issue is a lot of people play that game and they do it with things that aren't sincere. And that's what makes it, in my opinion, dark. So it's like me doing this. I love talking to people. I love, I just love doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Learning something new about people that you know, or you thought you knew, or didn't know details about. But I'm trying to keep that true to what that is. Yeah. Which we also know, like, I've had a bunch of friends tell me, like, man, you should get some OnlyFans girls on here and blah, blah, and your numbers will go up. Right. You're fucking right.
Yeah.
But that's where it gets dark, opposed to just trying to make things that are true and intentional to you work, which takes always more work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's the thesis statement, like being true to yourself, or not even true to yourself, but going for some rawness, going for some truth before going for the business model.
Right.
And I'm always encouraging any friend who I feel like is succeeding in social media. Often the content isn't for me, right? It's not for the older hater guy. It's for like, some younger people, or for those scrolling fast but I'm always going to say to that friend, like, don't forget about your actual comedy. Don't forget about your actual, the thing you want to share with the world. And as long as you're playing in that playground, I do feel like it is worth throwing things out more.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure there were songs I made that never, I never put out, but they were muddled as they might be. They were raw and good. And I should have, just for my own sense of learning, to have put that there so they're not festering in my, on my computer. Yeah. Or whatever.
Because, man, things on hard drives do nothing for nobody. Trust me, because there's 3 hard drives on that damn speaker.
There's got to be a lot of storage.
There's a lot of storage in this bitch. And let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff that should be out in the world. And I guarantee you, if there's a lot of things I know for a fact, if I would have just put them into the world, I would have seen something off of them, or at least I would have seen more than I'm seeing with them on these fucking hard drives.
Yeah.
And
at least some SoundCloud numbers going up,
that's
maybe.
Something. Or maybe just someone hears that and goes, hey, I like that. Yeah. I've heard other things, but I like that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like with music, it's the same as acting. Sometimes the audition that you didn't care about, you get, right? Yeah. And the one that you toiled over, you didn't get. With music, the 10-minute hook that you made, that's suddenly the banger. You did it with, one take. you were like, I'm not sure I'm going to use that. Turns out you're using it and you're leading with it.
Facts.
So like, yeah, I'm trying to, I feel like you have to put on two hats. One is your editor hat that you do after. And then one is like, you got to just throw it out there, be creative and be unafraid. I mean,
what is your like creative process like when you make music?
Yeah, I mean, it's up and down. I feel like I'm putting out this full album right now, which is 11 songs, I think, or 12, and we got 3 features on it. We're close to done. My producing partner Dave has been like just like my champion. Like he's the second half of my music moniker, Grasshopper. But to do that, some of these songs are 2 years old. You know, some of these songs I made in Atlanta a while back. Some of them are, you know, we've cleaned them up now, but the core lyrics are written 2 years earlier.
Right.
I mean, when I go to the gym, I know I'm having a good workout session when someone's like, "Hey, are you still using that?" Because I'm writing lyrics. You know, you might see me taking up the incline bench when you need that. That's when I'm up to some good stuff. You're going to want to catch me on the leg press, not moving. That's me. And that's when I might have written that 8-bar that was missing for the bridge. So
that's dope.
Yeah,
though.
for me, the whole world's my library. And I think that, like, to learn, that's where New York City taught me to, you know, I didn't grow up with like a lot of space. So like the whole world's my terrace, you know, you got to just find a stoop and post up and
dig in.
Sip your
like
40. Do whatever you got to
Sip
do.
your 40.
I grew up in the era of real 40. Yeah.
Sip your 40, you know.
Yeah. Maybe even the blood. No, but I don't know. The artistic process for me with music is I try to not grind too hard with it. If I feel like I'm not hitting it, I do have to craft time in the day to work on it. Mm-hmm. But if I don't solve it, the puzzle, then I you know, try a different puzzle. So I got different songs. I'm never letting it.
You're never at a lack.
Yeah, because I got other stuff to solve.
Bro, same. And the worst thing ever, especially as a producer, is just beating yourself over the head trying to just do something for hours like that's not working. Yeah. If it's not working, come back to it. You need a fresh perspective. Like, go work on something else, forget about it, come back, and then because there's so many songs I've gone back to, and at the time I was just like, this isn't working. Come back and you're like, oh wait, huh?
What is that about though? What is that?
Perspective. And I think it's the same with life. Everything. It's all perspective.
Oh man, you're right. No, if you take a step back from anything, even in an argument with a loved one or a friend, like, of course, in the heat of it, you can't see straight. And then you take one step back, 5 minutes. I need 2 minutes. I got to go walk over there and walk right back. Then you hear it differently. You see it differently, the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's so, like, I'm out of curiosity. Have you had beginnings to songs that you benched for years and then came back to, or like, when do you let a song just go and it had so much potential, but it never came back, or you tried again and it just didn't fit?
I think the longest ones are like a year and a half. After a year and a half, I'm not inclined as much to even remember that I made it. Yeah. But there's a song I know I made 2 years now, and another one that I made like a year and a half ago or something. And I know that they're good. But I also sometimes think of things, I'm like, this song would work, but I don't know how to attack the production. Because production trends change. So unless you're doing like straight up trap stuff, which like that hasn't changed in quite some time. But if you're doing like house music, like sometimes I'll do like house and like all that kind of stuff. Those, like, what's cool changes every 2-3 years. So sometimes like a drop that would have worked in 2014, right, for sure ain't working today. You know what I mean? Right. But that song, that's the beauty of like music or poetry, or like a timeless song is a timeless song. Yeah. And you can flip that however you want. You can remix it. You can do it a cappella. You can, because the song is the song, the lyrics, you know. That's
actually like a comfort to know that the things you've done, they're not obsolete. They just got to be reworked a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes where I'm like stuck on lyrics and I'm like, God, I can't figure out how to end this second verse, which is key to making this a real song.
Right.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, this is the theme of disappointment. I know this theme. I've written a lot about this.
Right.
Or this is the theme about like, you know, feeling great, feeling up. Like, wait a minute, I got other lyrics. And I'll go back and realize in my like madman notes style, I've got something else here. I put it there, and all of a sudden, you know, that thing that I spent one Sunday on in 2012 is suddenly coming to play.
Useful. Because you're speaking about life. Life isn't changing. Like, you know, it's the world is changing, but the general storyline of life that we all go through, no matter what country we're from, no matter what era we came in, like, you know, it's still the same. Our parents have still experienced heartbreak.
Yeah.
Our parents have had good days. They've had bad days. Their grandparents had good days and bad days. They've financial issues. Everyone's had them. You know, it's the themes of life, and those will never go out of style. Think about it. We have cell phones and fucking internet and all this kind of stuff. What do we use that shit to do? Still talk to one another.
Yeah, right.
Like it's that simple,
damn,
bro.
that's really true.
Like it's funny when you think about it. We go and we have all these different things. We have all these different vessels. Instagram, X, you know, Twitter, X, fucking TikTok, all these things. But really, all they're used for is to connect with other people and talk to them or sell them something.
Right.
Selling wares, just like we did in the olden days. Like,
yeah. And then conversely, I mean, you'll see photos of people before any phones. Everyone's on like looking at the newspaper, you know, on like a crowded train or whatever. So forever, people have been disconnected and needing to communicate.
And why are we reading the newspaper? Because we need to know what's going on so we can talk to other people about it.
Oh my God, this is it. This
This
is life.
But yet somehow we hate each other.
Yeah, why do we hate each
It
other so
makes
much?
no
I know.
sense.
I'm really, you know, the older I get, the more I have been just trimming the fat on all the negativity. I am rooting for all people to win. I'm not seeing people and going, hey, that's my slot. Even if there's not enough to go around, that wasn't my slot.
It wasn't your slot.
Yeah.
And not only that, bro, sometimes think of, it's just like life. It's like being in you're a happily married man now. Think how many times in your life you might have thought, oh, this could be the one, and it didn't work out. But you know what that was? That was saving you from some bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't realize. Sometimes it's like, it might have been a project. You wanted to get it, and you thought this was the, you know, maybe it wasn't the one. Maybe fucking around with that, you would have missed out on this, which actually is the thing you wanted to do. You can't write the story because you'd write it wrong. And say, all of us, we want, as much as we want to control shit, as much as we want to, but you can't write the story. You don't know.
Yeah, it's about control. That's always what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I think in my life I've been too out of control. I'm trying to get more intentional, and that'll be the theme of my next couple years, I hope, is some more intention. But yeah, to forgive yourself for what you thought was the wrong move at the time, or, you know, I don't know if I believe in that was meant to be, or you know, this is the divine way it's supposed to happen. I don't think that's what it is, but I do think there's just so much chaos and things happen, and you can only control so much.
Exactly. I think it's just my way of looking at it. I don't put a name on any of it, but it's like, it's just path. Yeah. Like your decisions you make will put you on different paths. And some of those paths, I feel like innately you lean into. Other ones maybe you find randomly. But each decision puts you on a certain type of path. Yeah. And as you set your goals and as you set your intentions, things universally, if you're actually moving in that direction, come to help you reach them.
Yeah.
And if you're not moving in that direction, nothing comes to help you.
Yeah.
You know, it's
or rather, even if you go in a direction that you didn't intend or didn't even want, that's at least an action. It's the doing nothing. That's the sitting on the couch, the not leaving the house. Those are the days that I think you're not taking enough of a risk.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say yes. I'm always trying to say yes to stuff, you know, like even if I'm always happier to get out when I do, but you know, I'm LA. I like to cancel plans. I like to stay in.
You sound like me when I do, because I'm the same way, man. As you can see, I be in the crib.
Well, you also have a special crib here. I mean, this is like this is a vibe.
Thank you, man. That's literally why I set it up this way too, because I was like, I don't ever want to feel like you said. I don't want to feel like I'm spinning my wheels working. If I'm sitting here watching TV, chilling, and I'm just like, I kind of want to. It's right there. There's no disconnect of, let me go in the other room and close the door and start trying it, because now I feel like I have to go to work.
I love that.
You know?
No, that's key. You're not putting a pressure on the flowing of creativity. And also like there's nothing that's stopping you from just doing it right here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many times where I've lost my mojo walking from my room or my office to the booth.
And people wouldn't understand that. They'd be like, come on. It's no, you can really lose it. Or you just like, I was so excited because I was doing something. Another thing I noticed when friends come over or people came over, I hated leaving to go do music, because what's inspiring me probably to make the music was the fact that the people were there we were talking, we were doing whatever, and then all of a sudden, you're talking about that, and then it leads you to this, and then so it behooved me to have it in a space too, where it's like, my friends come over, they're sitting here, and
also some of the best stuff's been recorded, I feel like, on that kind of like soundproofing thing.
For sure.
I mean, it's crazy how you don't need the vacuum sealed room or whatever.
Yeah, not like you used to, especially not for music. I will say for voiceover work though, it helps. Like, sometimes you'll get more room tone and stuff like that when you're doing just like straight up voiceover.
Yeah, no, we submit a lot of VOs too, and I feel like that if you don't have the proper setup in there, that can get real stressful.
Yeah, bit quick.
Like when you're sweating in your little booth and you're crunched over it because you don't have a standing booth.
You know how it goes.
That's not.
That is not fun.
But wait, I want to ask you about music placements.
Okay, yeah.
Because I actually was fortunate enough to have 2 of my songs on Kung Fu, the show I was working on. So,
that's by the way, not to cut you off, that's the coolest shit ever, because that's always my goal whenever I'm on something. I'm like, how can I get some music in this as well? Because like you said, I'm using all of my fucking talents in one place, and it's the coolest thing as a creative.
It's such a good feeling to know that I can be acknowledged or utilize those 2 parts of myself. I know I'm the same way. I was, super thankful that our leading lady, Olivia, like helped me. She helped make sure the showrunners were aware I really did this. And after months of going back and forth, I was able to get these 2 songs. I mean, they placed one, and then months later they placed another.
Fire.
And it was like such a treat. And yeah, just that kind of opened up my mind to I don't want to make music compromised for shows, but how do I lean into this world?
Right.
And so I'm just wondering, like, for you, like, when did you? Because I mean, you've made a lot of different. I was listening to your Spotify today. It's like a really eclectic mix.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the wave god. we can't forget that.
Can't forget wave.
But then
god.
you got some interesting collabs. Some of the stuff was like, I felt like I was in like a pump up movie, or I don't know what.
So basically, I started very young, as you know, and then I made R&B music when I was younger. None of that stuff's on Spotify. And then when I got older, I started to get into production. And then I made dance music for a while. So like 2012 to 2018, I like really made dance music. So I had some music on like one of Tiesto's albums. I was like doing the whole EDC thing. I had stuff played at Tomorrowland, EDC, all kinds of stuff. I got some Dash Berlin remixes. Like, I know.
What made you even get into that genre?
I liked it because you could be the artist, but you also could just produce music. You didn't have to do a whole show. Yeah. Like, you could just, you could make dope beats, and then you could go play your dope beats. And it was like a segue to do that. And I always thought that was cool. And then once I started doing it and getting into like just basically the lifestyle of it and just seeing how the festivals and everything worked, that was... I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the culture of it. I fell in love with all that. And this was also the golden era of like, I did like progressive house, and I did big room for a little bit towards the end. But then in the beginning, I did like all progressive house, like in that Avicii, Alesso type wave. And I loved that shit, man.
Oh, you must have loved like the crowds too in that situation, right?
Incredible, bro. It was just, especially when I was younger, it was just a really cool time and then seeing there's nothing like seeing something that you made get played by somebody and the whole sea of people are just like, you're like, holy shit, what I'm doing works.
That's the dream.
That literally.
I mean,
literally.
I'm gonna try to hop on stages soon, and when I do, I mean, if I can ease my way into somebody who's real psyched to see me up front, that'll be thrilling.
Because it's good. It's such a good feeling to know that you're appreciated and something that you're passionate about. Other people see too.
Yeah. I miss concerts. I used to love concerts. I went to so many in New York. Like I was a real I would say like a kind mosher. I'd be out there. But if someone's glasses drop, I'm out there going, hey, back up.
But you in the pit. But whoa.
Yeah. Like, you okay, buddy? Like, a lot of tussling people's heads and like.
That's funny.
But then I don't know. Then claustrophobia and like I'm too old. My back hurts. I want to be in the back of the house. I don't really.
That's life. You know what that is? Just life. Because also you see more shit, and you see like, this could go way more. When we're young, man, we're just.
Well, I'm a little haunted by like, for example, like the Travis Scott show that went crazy.
But that's what I mean. But that's the growing up shit. Because when you're at 22, you'd hear that story and you'd be like, fuck that. I'll be at the next show. Like, yeah. Now you're like, wait a minute, I got people depending on me and shit.
Yeah.
Like people, I can't just be out here doing wild shit. I got shit to lose.
I got to keep my dog in high value treats,
Man, come on. Oh, well, do you make his food?
No, but we're on the cusp of doing that because I'm feeling bad for this guy right now.
I figured.
Oh, I'm doing a medley of like wet food, dry food, sprinkled like feta. Like I got to change this up. I got to like just meal prep him.
Yeah, that's the way. My dog, he passed, but he had allergies and English bulldogs, so they always have like allergies and stuff. Yeah. And literally, we went through so many different diets trying to figure it out, so he wasn't so itchy and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then it got to where they were trying to be like, well, you could just cook for him. Man, I looked up some of those places that just do the meals, and I was like, oh, this shit is crazy. They're taxing. They're just taxing like people money, like for like, whoa.
No, I'm sorry. Like it's my first pet ever, and I'm a humanist. I stand with humans. Yeah. First and foremost.
Yeah,
so the dog can eat well, but can't eat better than the humans. And also like when I walk around LA and I see like lit up stores at night that are all full of dog food, but you got homeless people, like, no, that ain't right. Something's real messed up.
Well, bro, I always tell people this, and people are usually, depending on what side of the fence they're on, they're usually shocked. But I'm like, even when I used to walk my dog, and I'd walk him around, I lived at the plaza. So I, walking him around the Grove, all that kind of stuff. And it's just funny how you'll see some people who will walk by and they'll, oh, hi, and then look at the owner and then just keep walking. And you're like, wow, you respect this dog more, and you will make eye contact and play with this dog, not say anything to me.
That part.
And it's like, wow, okay, good to know. But it's just, it shows you, or it's crazy. I was dropping off a package at UPS down the street, right?
Yeah.
I'll never forget this. I could not make this shit up. So there's a guy standing in line, and there's a woman in front of him, white lady, black dude. And the white lady has a hoodie on, and it says stop it looks like it says stop discrimination. And then the guy goes, hey. And he shows her like he has like this like BLM, like, like Black Lives Matters patch, whatever.
Love it.
And he goes, I like your hoodie. And she goes, oh, thanks. Well, this is for pit bulls.
Oh, no.
Bruh. And then she lifted the hood up, and then you could see it was like a stop discrimination against pit bulls.
She's proudly showing it that it's that only.
And I was just like, if only you realized how bad this kind of looks, woman. Like,
it's almost the worst of the worst.
No, and then it kept going, though, because then he goes, pit bulls? People discriminate against
nice,
pit bulls?
Good, strong reaction. Yeah.
And then she goes, oh, yeah. Bruh, she goes into a full 2-minute and 30-second conversation explaining how a lot of the housing places out here discriminate against pit bulls and they don't want them in the, and her whole foundation. And I just was like, yep. And this people don't get it though. It's funny how just some people are just, it just goes right.
Come on,
head.
lady, put 2 and 2 together. See, zoom out.
Zoom out.
That's a close up. I mean, yeah, pit bulls are discriminated against, but like that's not where we got a lot. I'm not going to the pit bull march until we deal with some other stuff first.
Bro, and that's all I even say that on all human issues though. I always say it's like, man, I wish that we could kind of as a whole get together and all go, okay, wait, can we tackle one of our problems at a time?
Yeah.
Because if we went in order, we'd get some shit done. If everybody jumped on everybody's bandwagon, all together, we'd get shit done. Our numbers together are astronomical.
Yeah.
Just the problem is I'm over here talking about this, you over here talking about this, she over here talking about this, he over there talking about that. And we all selfishly, and this is on all of us, selfishly, mine, of course, is more important than yours, and yours, of course, is more important than mine. And
but how did this happen? Why are we all pitted against each other? Is what I wonder. Like, because I do feel like I see friends online. I'm like, all right, you champion this issue. This is your issue, it seems.
Right.
And then I'm like other friends who are like, all right, that's all you seem to care about. What and yes, then me in my own observing mind, I'm like, all right, well, are these two at odds with each other? Is one more right? How do we coexist? I mean, I almost want to blame the systems that we live in right now, which make it feel like we're all so divisive and you have to be championing something.
Well, we're peddled that, first off, for sure.
Yeah.
Like through social media, we're peddled that. It's just like anything political. Like we are a 2-party system. That is what this is. You're on one side or you are on the other. That is that. Also, we don't take perspective. Like, it's even like, come on, like most religions are all saying the same thing.
I know.
They're all saying the same shit, basically.
Treat others as you want to be treated.
Boom.
I love that.
You know what I mean? Like you can call it the 10 Commandments. You can call it whatever you want. It's the same principles. But I'm right, you're wrong. And that's how so many of us are taught. And there's a lot of things that keep those narratives going. Because in order to understand someone else's perspective, you do have to take into account yours and work on some things on yourself in order to be okay with everyone else's perspective or understand something. You have to put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
If I refuse to do that, and that's why I think a lot of times, and to an extent, just general misinformation, like that we for years. All of us have carried our own things, and we've never really, let's be real, we've never really all been able to have a conversation because that's not how things are set up. We have so many things in between that conversation, whether that be, like I said, race, religion, fucking geography, right. It's easy to separate people. All you got to do is make motherfuckers disagree about one thing, and that can destroy everything.
Wow. Wait, no, I mean, that is like a big core principle in how society has been made, and probably how one could manipulate your friend group. You know what I mean? Be out there, like, for those watching, like, if if you want to go ahead and tear your 2 friends apart, because just wait it out, and then before you know, who are they going to come crawling back to? You. That's who. So, like, yeah. I hear that.
It's tactics. It's tactics. And, also you can't have everybody on the same page because then...
You can't please everybody. I mean...
And that's the other issue. And some people, here's the other thing. You also just got difficult people. Some people don't want to be pleased.
True.
And that's a whole other issue. Some people like having problems, man. Some people, they thrive off that energy. Same way I can already tell you're the kind of person who's like, man, leave me the fuck out of it. I want to just chill and be... Yeah, I'm the same way, but a lot of people are not that. It does something for them, the thrill of the chase or the whatever.
Yeah. I mean, gossiping, right? It's like a low hanging fruit, but it's a way to, connect to somebody. And I'm trying to avoid all of that right now. I think it's all about just put your blinders up and focus on sharing real stuff and connect and being empathetic. That's all it is. Being empathetic. Just getting out of your own way, zooming out, knowing it's not all about you. It's not your, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Jeez. No, it's a lot to think about. I'm looking at this picture of BoJack right now on your wall, and I'm like, that man knew what's up.
Oh, big time. Big time. That's why the show gets so dark.
Yeah, I recall there was that one episode at his funeral, or he's at a funeral, and was that a famous episode?
It was for his, the one for his mother. Yeah, because his mother finally dies.
Man, that was, I love when animation goes dark like that.
Same.
I'm a big Simpsons fan, and my favorite episodes are always the ones where they really just went there about family. I'm always rooting for that.
And once again, that's why something like The Simpsons or something like BoJack Horseman or some of these things worked so well, because also the people aren't necessarily either people, or they're all one color, or they're all. You see what I mean? Like so it's the story. That's why I love animation too. The storylines don't feel so. Everyone can play along. Everyone can be a part of the world, because the world is fictitious anyway. BoJack Horseman can be anything I want him to be.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Like, I know
true.
he's Will Arnett, but I'm just saying, in theory, that can be anything. He's a fucking horse. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, and he, he hooked up with what? His manager, who's a cat. So
they're definitely pushing the boundaries on like species and stuff.
Yeah, and you can identify with these people. Like I always say this, when I was younger and I read the Harry Potter books. Yeah. I grew up in the South Side of Chicago. I went to I had one white teacher, I'll say, in my elementary school.
Yeah.
So even when I'm imagining Hogwarts and stuff, obviously I've seen the movies. It's very different now. Yeah. But I just imagined half the people black.
Of course.
But that's just.
This is why representation matters.
Yeah.
I people would ask me what actors do I admire, and it'd be like 5 white guys, and I'd be like, that's a hero. Matt Damon looking like dude. That's a hero. And that's wrong. I should have been able to say more than just Keanu, and that's just my personal spirit animal. But like others, we need more than John Cho. Shout out to John Cho, but we need more.
You need more, yeah, because it gives you that sense of, especially young coming up, like, oh, I could do that. Like every young black actor loves Denzel Washington, loves Samuel L. Jackson, loves Jamie Foxx, because it's like, no, you did it. Same way they respected Sidney Poitier so much, because it's like, no, like, whoa, how the fuck did you figure that out in that era? Like, you're not even American. Like, you learned how to speak English, come over here, work in an era when like blacks were definitely not on TV.
God, he's like one of the OG pioneers.
Pioneers, bro. So where's
he from?
He is from, let me look that up, because
I hope he's not England, right? Not England.
No.
Only because
them British actors.
Honestly, at this point, I see anyone good, even if they're like a 7-year-old who was cast something.
I'm like, that motherfucker British.
I'm like, he's British, and then they always are. They always are.
They
British.
always are the best, bro. A lot of the best actors right now.
What are you guys doing out there?
Well, I think already the fact that they got to learn how to speak without the accent off rip. So that already got to give you something. If everything you're approaching, you have to also do accent work with also. Yeah. You're starting at an elevated level. Okay, so I guess he was born in America. Born in Miami, Florida.
So it was a Florida accent.
A Florida accent.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like maybe his family's from the Bahamas or something, because I heard ambassador of the Bahamas, Portier's family lived in the Bahamas, then still a crown colony. But he was born unexpectedly in Miami. He was in Miami.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's a little asterisk on his.
Yeah, while they were visiting, which automatically granted him U.S. citizenship.
Wait, that's actually pro move right there. If you're pregnant and if you're 8 months in, go take a trip.
This wasn't no accident. His parents knew what the fuck they was doing.
Smart.
He grew up in the Bahamas, but moved to Miami at 15 and to New York City when he was 16. He joined the American Negro Theater, landing his breakthrough film role as a high school student in the film Blackboard Jungle.
Blackboard Jungle.
Blackboard Jungle.
That I don't know.
Blackboard Jungle is an American 1955 American social drama film about an English teacher in an interracial inner-city school based on the 1954 novel The Blackboard Jungle by Evan Hunter. And adapted for the screen and directed by Richard Brooks. It is remembered for its innovative use of rock and roll in its soundtrack. Unique breakout role of Black cast member, film icon Sidney Poitier as a rebellious yet musically talented student.
I think we all have our homework. Go check out this film because it's a banger.
1.1 million was the budget.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
They made 8.1.
I'd say that's profit.
They
I'm no
did
mathematician, but that
they got it. MGM. That's
Wow.
crazy. Sidney Poitier, man. But yeah, so we need more American actors.
Yes,
too.
I was about to say. I was like, "What's the
We need more American.
I just don't
actors.
want to see a British person playing like a salt of the earth American. I don't know. Just
They had I can't remember her name, but when they did the Harriet Tubman story,
oh god, who?
they got a British actress
Oh no, to play Harriet?
to play Harriet.
Oh come on!
I mean,
now.
like
we
know
have
her.
those.
You know her too. She's been in mad stuff. Hold on, what's her name?
I'm sure she's great.
No, and she's great. But I was like, we could have gotten American for this one. Like,
I'm glad you feel this way because I feel like I don't always want to rep America, but every now and then, especially with acting, I'm like, come on, let's throw one to us.
Okay, her name is Cynthia Erivo.
Cynthia Rivos. I
Yeah.
think she's if I'm not mistaken, she might be an EGOT, which means she's won every goddamn thing.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So she's good at what she does.
Yeah, no, she's great. She's great. But she is.
But she's not good at being American.
She is from Stockwell, London.
Stockwell? I don't even know what that is, but that sounds so British.
She has a Cockney accent. And
Oh,
stuff.
if you
imagine.
all right, at least it's not RP. If you're doing the Cockney, then you're at least like you're my people.
You my people.
I like the Cockney.
So tell me about this play that you're about to do.
And also just like thanks for having me, on this. Like, I really appreciate it.
Hell
For real.
yeah, bro. No, I'm
glad to
enjoying
chop it
myself.
up with you.
Yeah.
The play is called Poor Yellow Rednecks. It's written by this guy named Qui Wen.
Okay.
And playing his father as a young man. And yeah, I mean, I haven't started rehearsals yet. So I'm just, in my bag now, I've got all my lines and I'm trying to cram the stuff. It's been a while since I'm on Windows 98. I'm trying to, update.
Gotta get to XT.
Yeah, but I can't find which plugin to download for my brain.
Use LimeWire.
Yeah, I see exactly. The problem is I've been trying to rip it from LimeWire.
and you got Soulja Boy songs and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, it's too much.
Yeah.
Yo! Oh my God, I remember LimeWire.
The best.
Yeah, the play's cool. It's like it's an all Asian cast. It's
awesome.
It incorporates rap, which is going to be just great for my soul. And yeah, it's in New York at the Manhattan Theater Club, and
awesome.
I don't know. I'm just like really psyched to reopen that world of just getting ready to do a show at 8 p.m.
Right.
Which is to me daunting because at 8 p.m. I usually like to not be performing anything.
You want to be like winding down.
Winding down. I only got 3 good hours in the day in me anyway. 11 to 2.
After that, it's
all
all
a
just
washout.
autopilot.
Yeah.
I feel it.
But this is gonna get me into some healthier habits, and it's gonna. I'm excited, and I'm gonna give it my total all. And so it's like, yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know yet what it's gonna be like, but I do feel like theater is just. And if anyone sees this and wants to like try their hand at acting, just do some live improv with friends. Do something live. Don't get too in your head about it, but like listen and respond. That's always to me at the core of good acting. My favorite acting is just listeners. If you're a listener. And yeah, I think theater forces you to do that because obviously you can cut around a good a bad listener and make them look like a great actor, right? That's what the edit does, and that's why editors also deserve like everything. But in theater, I mean, I better know my first moment, know what that first when I walk into the room, what I'm feeling, and then the rest of it, I'm gonna hope to let it fly,
Right.
And that's going to be the goal of this experience that I'm about to have. I really want to get back to the core of what I liked about acting, which is the listening and the not knowing. So I don't want to anticipate. And I think my character does a lot of like, I am kind of taking in moments. So I'm a little reactionary to certain things. And I feel like that's going to be just healthy for me.
Oh, that's great, man. And you're just getting more tools in that toolbox, man.
I need tools.
Yeah.
I trained in Meisner at NYU, and that was just all about, it was a very negative kind of way of working, actually. It's like if you're like not prepared according to the teacher, you're like not working that day, you know? We had times where you'd work a whole week with your partner, and then you get into class and she would just go, you know, no, that's off. Not today. You're not going, you know?
Oh, that's weird.
I know it's kind of, to me, and as the more I've worked in professionally, the more I feel like that isn't a good approach, because you know, you have to massage things and you have to let things go. Yeah. And you might be off, but you still got to do the doing.
And you got to know what's on for, I always say this, what's on for someone else isn't always on for you. Yeah. You know, like people get, I would assume Christopher Walken's always off.
Yeah.
But he's fucking not. You know, because what he does is he does him. He's always playing jazz in like a classical there
piece.
You go.
Like,
exactly. But somehow he's found a way to make his jazz always fit. Yeah. And you never see him and go, this is wrong. But he's also not doing what conventionally would be considered correct.
Yeah.
And I just feel like when you see people like that, it lets you know, like, I never like anyone who says that there's only one right way of doing something, you know, because that's when you break the creativity. That's when you break something being able to move forward. Which
I feel like with TV, we've seen that happen a lot, where there is no room. I'm sure with a Tyler Perry set, he knows how it's supposed to sound. Same with a David Mamet play or something. Exactly. I don't want to pick up my cues like that. In a dream world, I want to be able to really have the text to try different tactics for real to get my partner to give me what I want or whatever it is. Yeah. I think that's just key. I think good acting is good living. So to me, my favorite actors are the ones who are good, genuine people. You know, like that's obvious to me. At the same time, you know, we've had a lot of successful actors out there who are terrible to work with, but they turn in amazing performances. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind sprinkling in some genius within my niceness, but who knows? You know, there's no right answer.
Listen, man, it's in there. It's in there.
I don't know.
You know what it is? I feel like sometimes the genius is the things that we try to work on. You know what I mean? If you got a lot of shit to work on yourself, that means there's some genius in there. But you just gotta balance the working on it and knowing how to direct your superpower. Yeah. You know, and it can be you know, you can be Batman or you can be the Joker. You know, but you know,
don't be Robin, you know. Don't be Robin.
Don't be Robin.
You want to be at least bold enough to be the villain or the hero.
Second fiddle over here.
Yeah, dude, I feel the same way.
No, I feel it.
Well, tell me, like, I mean, what do you do? You got something you're working on right now?
Right now, man, I'm just building this, man. I'm building this and oh, actually, well, yes, I do have something. I always forget the things I'm working on because I'm working on so many things. But I'm building this, obviously, and then also me and my boy Denzel Whitaker, the one I was telling you about. Yeah, we just did a short that we're wrapping up. I did all the music for it. I
want to hear this.
I'll let you see it when we wrap up.
Exclusive shit.
Yeah, y'all. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't ready for it.
I got to keep playing stuff like that just to make sure people know they don't get everything.
Yo, so it's called Brand New. I'm in it. Denzel Whitaker and Quincy Ledbetter directed. Denzel's also in it, and then Chris D. Lofton, who's in Power. He's also crazy. We're all really good friends, but he's also in it. And
did you say Denzel
Whitaker?
Whitaker's in it. Yeah.
So he's in it, and he also directed it.
Oh, love it.
With Quincy Ledbetter, and then myself, I'm in it, and I did all the music production in it. And music supervision, and so like I'm excited to share it to you. But bro, so we're working on that. We do the mix at Formosa tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
so we're knocking that out, and then we'll be all wrapped up. And then did that. Also just shot another project with my boy Cleo Thomas and my boy Wes. What's good?
Wes, what's good?
Yeah, it was good.
What is good though? What's really good?
Yo, another amazing director, and so we just. So
you're taking matters into your own hands.
Yes,
right now.
I'm exactly what we talked about earlier. I'm collaborating with friends that I know are talented, who I know turn out great shit. And I think one of the coolest things, like you said, in this generation, like we don't need a huge machine to get shit done. And when you work with talented people, they know how to get shit done without the huge machine, and it's still quality, you know, and it's stuff that you want to be a part of, you're excited to do. And if it works, it's not just like, oh, I win, and you're winning with the people who, you know, you want to see win as well.
Yeah. I know. There's like, it's so obvious. Cut out the middlemen as much as you can in every situation, and pour yourself into something. And it's not going to feel that way when you're auditioning for stuff. You know, even the times it's so nice when someone says, yes, we accept you. You can come into our thing. See, but the real joy, the real fulfillment, the real happiness, I think, comes from when you generated it, when you're a producer on your thing.
100%.
And as an actor, you know, from the years of auditioning, I've done a lot of little things on people's projects. And, you know, I was there to please for that one afternoon. And is my soul better for it? Not really.
Not at all. And like you just said, I think in any situation, no matter what you're doing, it's a lot easier, or people always want that validation. You want to go to the label and get signed by Interscope and have that brand on. You want to walk into these buildings, and you want to, you know, if you're an executive, you want to walk into Disney and work for Disney, right? But shout out to the guy who said, you know what? I'm going to get this little office, and we're going to call this Interscope, and I'm going to build this from square one. Yeah. You know how much better it feels to walk into that office once you've made it then, opposed to just being a part of someone else or trying to here's the thing. If someone wants you to be a part of their thing, go ahead. That's great. Yeah. But we end up chasing a lot to be a part of some shit that no one wants you to be a part of. So it's like, you know what? Let me pivot. Let me create, because then you'll be coming to me. Yeah. And when they come to you, the deals are always better.
Yeah. I want to be the one stocking the fridge, not the one seeing what am I allowed to grab.
There you go. There you go. Or how about this? The motherfucker who owned the fridge.
Oh my God. That's deeper than I thought.
Yeah.
The one who owns the fridge. See how far low on the totem pole I feel? I didn't even think that I could own it.
The fridge.
I would have.
And see, and I'm still thinking small, because there's somebody else who's like, well, where the fuck you storing the fridge?
Oh, I thought you go, who built the fridge? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to build my own sort of cooling device that.
Listen, man, it's a
take it far.
Take it as far as you possibly can, and don't underestimate yourself.
Yeah,
and that's it.
I mean, that sounds like a good ending.
That's a
beat
great
right
ending.
there. I really.
Thanks for coming through.
Oh,
man.
dude, listen. But for all those out there, do all that. Build your own fridge.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, Maytag. I just had one replaced. They're not good.
Yeah.
Build your own fucking fridge.
Maytag, you ain't it.
You ain't it. Unless you're gonna sponsor this.
Yeah, unless you see this Maytag, in which case we're down.
Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Peace.